Yo, it's showtime. It's showtime.
Happy Monday.
It's go time. You know what I'm saying? How's everybody doing? Blessed to be here. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
We are back. Schools are closed. Market Monday's open.
Rashad, he got that pen. Whoo.
Taking names now. We taking names.
He the man that ran with the hand that don't write.
Taking names.
I go off the top when I'm rambling on the mic.
Sometimes when you turn in the album, you like first week 1.1. Oh, get rich, die trying. Blueprint. Oh God,
boy. Get rich or die trying, man.
Appreciate everybody for their traveling mercies and prayers. We are back. We made it back from the continent safely. Shout out to everybody that prayed over that. We are here. Back in New York, little rain, but that's not stopping nothing. Shout out to everybody on the continent that showed us so much love and has been enjoying the content. We got more to come.
I'm loving it.
Shout out to Fatima, the fam, the Africa fam. Alvin, Ty was out there with us making movies. It was just an amazing educational experience. Shotty still is. We're still waiting on that Jollof result from you. Oh, jokes aside, it was incredible, and more to come. Ian, how you feeling, my guy?
I feel amazing. Bless Holly favorite. Amazing weekend. A lot to talk about. A lot happened Friday, and great reversal today. It's a lot to talk about, but I'm having a great time gearing up for next year. Doing my 2026 planning. So off to a good start. Thank you, Rashad.
Shotty, how we feeling?
I feel good. Feel good, man. You know, just getting to it. Yeah, we back from Africa and, finishing the year strong, fourth quarter for the vibe. So, man, it's a lot of work to do and a lot to talk about. So,
for sure.
We're going to get right to it. Blackout. Do remember this week. Blackout's always fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a lot to talk about, but, we're going to have some good conversation on Blackout. Let us know who you want to see as far as the guests. Then we got to get Vic Mensa up there. He's been dropping a lot of gems lately.
He just called me, matter of fact. So
did he?
Shout out to my brother.
Yeah. He's been going crazy. He's been going crazy. He got a op-ed in the New York Times.
Oh,
so he's been going crazy.
He's cooking.
Yeah.
Super intelligent.
This Thursday, if you watched, our chronicles in Africa, one of the places that we went to was Senegal. And, they got that statue. It's the largest statue in Africa. It's larger than the Statue of Liberty.
Renaissance monument.
With the man that's holding his baby and his wife on the side. And the architect of that is a legend, the premier architect on the continent of Africa. His next project that he's designing is the capital city of Gabon. So he's one of them dudes. His name is Pierre Atepa. And we interviewed him. Mm-hmm. So that's coming out on 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Thursday. We're going to do a midday drop. 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and it's shot in that cinematic Vice type format.
Mm-hmm. I'm loving the format, yo.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Informal, just a conversation. It wasn't an interview, it was a conversation. Mm-hmm. But man, he's one of them ones, man, almost 80 years old. Extremely intelligent. Mm-hmm. Talked about the geopolitical landscape of Africa,
mm-hmm.
The minerals, the new projects that they're working on, American government, Joe Biden, Donald Trump. It's a lot.
It's a lot. Every place you go, there's somebody that you need to know. He's definitely number one on the list of the people that you need to know if you're going to be in Senegal. So we're very fortunate to sit down with him. We've had a lot of meetings. I think I walked away from that meeting saying, wow, that one was different, super impactful, super educational. I'm glad that y'all going to get to see and witness it. And that's the beauty of it. Like the things that we get to experience, y'all get to experience it with us. So I'm looking forward to that one.
That's a fact. So yeah, tap in, man. It's a lot going on. Yeah. Ian, any announcements?
Yeah, Stock Club call will be Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central. If I made you money, please put yes in chat. Friday, those alerts are going off. If you want to know where to get in, where to get out, never have to worry about Trump's tariffs or any other BS that he's doing in the market to make sure that Barron is a quadrillionaire by the time he's 26, go to ianinvest.com. Kudos to taking care of your kid, but if you need somebody to be your financial parent, go to ianinvest.com, and I can tell you where to get in, where to get out, and how to get rich from this market while they're clearly getting rich from it at the same time. Back to you guys.
It's interesting that a lot of people kind of got new to investing this year, and so they've never. I mean, they experienced it in April, and then we kept talking about pullbacks in September. It never happened, and we said like October. Those are 2 months, and then it happens. It's like, oh my gosh,
Halloween Havoc.
Oh my
right
gosh.
before Halloween.
Panic. But glad to see things had a reversal today. Before we go any further, man, happy birthday to our brother Mike. He had a birthday this weekend. Happy birthday,
my brother.
Babies forever.
Happy belated.
Hope you had a great celebratory day. Happy birthday to friend of the show, fam to the EYL community, Kiana Watson.
Happy birthday to the Queen, Kiana.
Happy belated.
And happy birthday to everybody out there that's celebrating, man. Love is love.
Pretty V, happy birthday.
Pretty V. Oh, yeah, it's Pretty V. Happy birthday, sis. Love is love. Y'all know how this works, man. Do your own research and continue to do your own research. Our content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It's very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with, or independently research and verify any information that you find on our show and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. Do the research, share the research. Let's build community. Let's build our brokerage accounts. Let's build wealth. Let's just build.
Sure.
Let's go. Let's keep running this up. We on a run. We on a legendary run. And I don't know. We don't see the red light yet, but so we're gonna keep going.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Who wallet you think that was that made the 80 million in one day on crypto? Allegedly.
Like 30 minutes
before the announcement was made. Rashad, you was in Africa, but I know you was on the phone with Bill Clinton at some point. Who made the 80 million? Tune in Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern to find out.
Yeah.
New tweet on Truth Social.
Well, we could talk about it now, I guess, if you want to jump into that part. Is like the 80 million situation allegedly. So what they said is that, obviously when Trump he made the Truth Social post on Friday, and that made the stock market fall very, very sharply, but it also made the crypto market have a major pullback. It was actually the largest liquidation in crypto history for a single day.
Mm-hmm.
And allegedly, there was a $20 million hedge that was put in around an hour before he he made that tweet, and that $20 million bet turned into $80 million very quickly. Now, what's even more suspicious is that the account was opened just for that. It wasn't an existing account. It was opened just for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it was closed shortly after that. Closed it out shortly after that. So 20 turned to 80 once
that's a hell of a flip.
The markets fell and the Bitcoin fell, but then also a lot, unfortunately there was at least one situation where somebody had committed suicide.
Yeah.
Now, most people will say like, well, why would somebody commit suicide if you just wait? Like, like just wait it out. But and it's something that we haven't really talked about a lot, but when you trade on margin or you use a high level of leverage in your trading, what happens is that you can get cashed out. And apparently, I guess this was a big time crypto trader, and apparently he was heavily leveraged on one of his trades, and they said he lost $40 million. And I guess that led him to commit suicide. Mm-hmm. So this is the dark side. And shout out to Alex Good Energy. He had mentioned that maybe we should talk about this on Blackout, but I think it's appropriate even on Market Mondays because it is an investment conversation, and it does highlight the dark side of trading for sure, where you can lose a lot of money if you don't know what you're doing, or if something goes, in your opposite favor. So the mental health aspect of it is extremely important because this goes back to the 1920s, the Great Depression, when people was jumping out of windows. This is not new. You had stockbrokers that jumped out of windows in the 1920s. So when we're talking about investing and we're talking about trading, we also have to put mental guardrails up, and then also just safety precautions in your investment strategy and your trading strategy. Because yeah, when things don't go your way, you could potentially fall into a deep depression. You could go into a dark space. You could lose a lot of money. You could lash out at people. Worst case scenario, like what happened last week, you could end up hurting yourself. So yeah, the dark side of trading. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, for sure. In futures, you can have 5-to-1, 10-to-1 leverage. Just number one is the reason why I say you should only take 1 to 12 trades per year to mitigate risk. But there's a couple things you have to look at on crypto and any leverage asset. If you're going overseas to have 100-to-1 leverage, it can go against you. Secondly, the part that isn't talked about enough is when you're down, or let's say the market is bleeding down how it was Friday, even if you have a stop loss in place, you can continue to bleed past your stop loss. I have 4 or 5 people message me like, hey, I'm trying to go long in this position. I can't. And then a few others said, well, I'm past my stop loss. What do I do? And I'm like, you have to call your broker, because at that point, there's nothing you can do. That's why we say trading has considerable risk. And the upside of it is that you can make a ton of money. I'm talking $2 to $10 to $15 million in a good day.
Well, we saw that with it's the tale of two stories, right?
Yep.
The one guy leveraged and off the leverage made $60 million in one day. Somebody else lost $40 million in one day
and lost his life. And the other part is when you're trading, you're not just competing against the best traders in the world. You're competing against the best hedge funds, and now people who may have intellectual sources that you do not have, and governmental relationships that you may not have, and the broker doesn't care either way. We were talking before we started, Martin Shkreli, who got caught up in that pharmacy scandal a few years ago, who bought the Wu-Tang rights. He was down $28 million or $22 million the week before, and it's on YouTube, and JP Morgan's calling his line like, hey, you got to figure something out to wire this money in. So be careful if you're trading on leverage. If a profit factor is not 15 or higher, so for every dollar you put into the market, you're able to get 15 out, don't trade on leverage. And this is a lot of times, even when it comes to newer stocks, or I even had a brother this weekend ask me like, well, why won't you talk about some of the quantum stocks? I'm like, the platform is too big for me to tell you to invest in something that they have even said privately is not going to be the leader in quantum. The upside is always the immense amount of money that you can make. But when you are in the whole 40 million, that kid didn't have somebody he can call and say, let me get a bridge loan for 25 million so I can work my way out of the hole. He can't just run to another country and escape the problem. And even when you're down that much, some brokers won't even let you open up another account to trade your way out of it. Trading has considerable risk. Please be careful. Please protect your mental health, and don't over leverage in trading. God rest his soul.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's tragic, but I'm glad we're speaking about it, because all the things that Shadi mentioned are true. Right? If you're new to this, it can become daunting. It can become depressing, and it can feel overwhelming. Margin is something that we don't talk about, because I don't think any of us actually use margin. It's not something that I
do in futures, but that's why I say you got to limit the number of trades you take per year.
So people even just need to know how it actually works, right? And so margin is borrowed money. It's borrowed money from the brokerage, and you are allowed to use that up to a certain extent or a certain point. And when it's stocks are appreciating, futures are appreciating, options are appreciation, it's great, right? You're making the money. The problem is when you see a day like Friday happens and it's a drastic pullback, right? Those margin calls happen very quick, and the margin call is saying, "Hey, we want our money.
I want my bread. Give me Bitcoin,"
and they click in very, very quickly, right? And hit a certain threshold, and we want our money back. The first thing they're going to ask is, "Hey, you need to put more money into your account, or you need to liquidate all of your assets." Now you might have put that margin call on a certain position, but it looks at your entire portfolio to get its money back, right? So if you're on a brokerage and they make a margin call and it's not inside of that call, they're going to look how to liquidate all of your portfolio
that you've been holding for 5 years. And this is why you need to separate your trading account from your long-term investment account.
That's where I was going. It's the reason why you have separate accounts for separate type of trading, right? So for me, it was 3 accounts. I have my long-term holds, right? Stocks, have some indexes in another account, and then I have an options account. All 3 different brokerages. I don't mix the money up. The other thing is time, right? We always talk about using time as an asset, especially when you're trading, which is why we talk 5 to 10 years, or for an eternity if you're holding some of these companies, or you're buying yourself time in terms of leaps and options. We always want to use that because the volatility is going to happen. Volatility, it's actually needed, right? So we can have better entry points. And so when we saw something like Friday, we didn't panic. We were actually in the car. We just had landed. I said, yo, Shadi, we're going to make a call. I got a call. I'm working on it as we land. Like, yo, here comes the call. Why? I'm believing in strong companies. I'm looking at it as an opportunity to pull back. All right, let's pull the trigger. Here we go.
And key lesson, everyone write this in chat. You have to know the best performing days in the market historically and the worst performing. Some of you haven't been in the game 10 years, 15 years, but October 10th of 2008 is when we had that big crash that was down 18.2%. It was 1,874 points on the week that dropped. It was 12:30 on Friday. So if you go to the Trader's Almanac, you can see historically which days underperform, overperform. It doesn't mean that it's the sole reason, but there ends up being a lot of correlations and market memories that traders have that ends up affecting us. Lastly, if Trump little tariff tweet to make his kid rich affected your portfolio, I want to be clear, these are my thoughts. My thoughts only. Red Panda doesn't reflect Troy Rashad or Ernie Leisure or You have a fucked up portfolio. If you're that over levered, where a 3% correction in the market or 4% drops you down 40 or 50%, you got to look at the stocks, meme coins, altcoins, and assets that you're in, so you're never in that position again. Or the first sign that you see in the morning that the futures are down 1%, you got to start to look to exit and put that capital elsewhere. I'm going to be very honest. Friday wasn't that bad of a day, especially for what's coming in the next year. Oh, we're not even close. You ain't seen the worst of it. You think today was bad? But even people, I saw people on Twitter saying, well, Bitcoin's a horrible asset to invest in for how much it drew down. I'm like, it barely moved down. This isn't like how it was in 2016 and 2018 when it would draw down 10% in an hour. Like, what are we talking about? Invest in quality companies, quality assets, so you won't have these issues. Bitcoin went from 127 240 down to now 115 850. That's not that big of a drop for crypto. Invest in quality, hold for the long term, and you'll be fine. But stop over leveraging and buying in too high of a position, so when these corrections happen, you're not able to take advantage of them.
And that's one of those things, especially in the market, when you start to see a pullback, it starts out at, we're down 200, we're down 300, we're down. That's when the smart money starts saying, hey, where can we take profits at? What positions can we take profit? When they take profit, that 200 to 300 points that were down now turns into 400 or 500, and more people start taking. So these things are going to happen. It's part of the cycle. And hopefully, a lot of people did text and were worried, but a lot of people were like, all right, perfect. We got new positions to get into. So when you see sales like that, just know that smart money's moving first, and they're going to make their money. How you react will be up to you. They did pose a question, though, and I thought it was interesting. They said, if platforms, and we'll leave just general platforms, if they profit off the volatility, should they also protect the people living through it? I thought that was a pretty
protect them in what way, however? I think mental health resources, guiding, but also going back to terms and conditions, which with AI is going to get trickier for a lot of companies. But if you read your terms and conditions all the way through, ideally print them out and read them, they tell you any trade that you do and anything that can and will go wrong, with the exception of an active God, is on you, Playboy.
Well, then also it goes back to just taking some proper level of risk and precautions. And it's like, okay, options. If you do the shorter the options, the more risky it is. The more you have a chance of that happening.
Yep.
With the long-term options, you give yourself more time. The further out, the more risky it is. When you're doing margin, the more risky it is. So it's like, all right, when you're just doing like, all right, I'm gonna do short term, I'm gonna do very far out the money, I'm gonna do it high margin. You just
gotta be careful.
You compounding. So that's just some things that just
stay there real quick. Compounding the risk. Talk about that. Because people are not factoring that in.
Yeah, compounding risk for sure. And that's something, you got you should be in choice options class. EY University goes over it once a month as far as, risk mitigation, how to pick the stocks and how to give yourself time. And, all of these things are important. And then allocation of portfolio. Me personally, I don't think that you should be trading more than 10% of your total amount of money that you have. So it's just a lot of different things like this is taken to consideration that, all right, even if this thing goes completely against me, it's not going to ruin my life.
Not going to wipe me out. Yep. And also not lying on your financial disclosures to get different trading level access on your account. It's a lot of y'all who do that. Y'all want level 3 or level 4. I'm going to go to Singapore where I can get 500x leverage. It's amazing when that shit go right. And then when it doesn't, scrub the ground.
Yo, that's crazy. I'm happy you said that.
It's a lot of y'all who be lying that y'all make $4 to $5 million a year in whatever business to get level 3 access, and then when shit goes awry, you're like, well, this platform did me wrong, and they're not for the. No, you lied on your disclosures.
So that's important. I don't think we've ever spoken about that, but maybe we should, right? And so if you open up a brokerage account, a lot of times people are like, well, I open my brokerage account, but I can't trade futures or I can't trade options. Well, when you sign up, they're going to ask you some questions. They're going to ask you your experience, right? And so what Ian's talking about is based on your experience that you'll tell them, right? Either you have some experience, you have no experience, you have 1 to 3 years, 5 to 7 years, or it says like 10 plus. Depending on what you put there, how much money you make per year, how much disposable they will now put you at a level of where you can trade. And so for most people, they skip that part, they put none, and then they'll ask, well, how come I can't trade options?
Yeah.
Well, you don't have any experience, and they're trying to actually protect you, right? Or if you put that I've been watching Market Mondays, right, for 5 years now, and I've learned, and now I've been paper trading for 3, I have some experience. Now you might enter at a level 1 account, and so now you can actually trade and probably do basic calls and puts. The more you put, the more information, the more experience that opens it up to more. Obviously, this is what you're talking about, but most people don't even talk about that part of it. It's important. If you don't disclose the right thing, or even sometimes if you do, it will determine what type of account they'll allow you to open.
But when you are disciplined and you take the right amount of trades and you practice and you plan your trades out for the year, you knew the drop was already going to happen. Wow, what a godly amount of money you can make in 2 or 3 days.
And then a portfolio line of credit is different from taking money on margin. For clarification purposes, margin account is pretty much you're borrowing money to trade or to invest. And then that money is paid back over the course of time. And then you can get a margin call if thing goes against you. But if it goes right, then you just pay it back, and you've leveraged it because you're able to invest with money that's not even your money. So you're investing with credit pretty much. A portfolio line of credit is a little different. A portfolio line of credit is you're taking a line of credit from your portfolio. That's different.
Yep. You actually have the asset in your possession and just borrowing against it. Great point.
Right. And that's usually 50 to 70% of how much money you have. So if you have $1 million, let's say they might give you $500,000, and now you're taking a line of credit from, and now it's like any other line of credit. You pay an interest on it monthly, like you have monthly payments that you're actually making on it. But now you don't necessarily have to invest that money into back into your brokerage account, or like you can actually use that money to do other stuff, buy real estate, different things of that nature. So that's good from a standpoint of if you need money, but you don't want to take money out of your brokerage account. and it's still not giving you the full amount. So if things do go bad, or you do have to, like, you still have 50% of your portfolio still in there.
Yep.
So you have money to pay back if an emergency happens, or you got to pay it back or something like that. But in the meantime, you can use the line of credit to keep the compounding interest going, and use the money to make more money doing something else.
You know what sucks about the margin calls is that a lot of those calls that hit it, right, today they would have reversed and you would have been up.
It shows to the one for the power of patience. And if you got margin called on Friday, you were at too high of a price. The stop losses, the mitigate. I screamed that so much here, especially in Red Panda. Are you risking 1 to make 11, 1 to make 5? And everyone's like, no, I want to risk 1 to make 1, 1 to make 3. And it's like, if it bleeds past your stop, then what? Because even in your trades where you're risking 1 to make 11, that's to also give you time to breathe and not panic and not take bad trades. But also, if you run into this kind of situation, your brokerage will even look at you and say, this is your risk to reward ratio. They'll give you the line of credit if your performance is good enough. This season, and some people also say, well, it's not fair that Trump reversed the market this way. It is your job. Every time I talk to my dad, hey, protect yourself at all times in every area. Business, your health, relationships, trading, investing, the law, everything. It's up to you to keep your guard up, because even the broker, here's the other part about being a great trader. You can become so great of a trader and make some money off the brokerage that you become a threat to the business line of the brokerage. It's tears to this shit, man. And y'all have to listen from the very beginning. We got 3 more years of this. Got a crash come. Andrew Ross Orkin been making his rounds. He been making his rounds everywhere. CNN. Oh my God. Book 1929 coming out. You Deserve to Be Rich is out. Go get it. Bestseller. We keep telling, every fucking analyst on earth is telling you, man, it's a bubble in 27. It's going to be rough. The writing's on the wall. You have to protect you, though. Stop trading off margin,
please.
And then also, okay,
that's just Trump, my passion talking.
Does Trump have any level of responsibility for this? Because he's affecting markets with his tweets in ways that we've never really seen before. So the reason why the market dropped on Friday is because he said that he was going to impose a 100% tariff on China over and above with everything that they already have, because of their hard stance on the rare earth minerals. Apparently they control 70% of the rare earth minerals in the world. So he said that he was going to have 100% tariff on China. And then that crashed the stock market. It crashed crypto. Then Sunday night, he came back and said that essentially that wasn't going to happen. And that could take, a long time to actually implement, and that, him and China are back on good terms. And, President Xi, and, he just had a bad moment, but he's a highly respected president. And that made the market go back up again. So he's dropping markets at the drop of a dime, and people are making strategic investments every time the market goes up or goes down based off of a tweet that he puts out. So does he have any level of responsibility for impacting the markets in a way that we've never really seen before?
First off, I want to say I'm not a Trumper. I'm not MAGA. I'm not a Barroner, Candace Owens, or Andrew Tater. But no, not one bit. He's been very clear through campaigning, first time being president, Project 2025 mixtape that they put out, that the only thing he cares about him staying out of jail and his family. So when you deal with a person like that who was crazy enough to tell you what the plan was the entire time, no, he did what he was going to do the last time with the tariffs. And in 30 days, China will make him course correct, because China is not an attack first nation, but once they throw that second blow, it's going to be very tough for us to withstand that. While we need to stay out of conflicts politically, and while our market and job economy is tighter than it's been in a long time. And I've never seen such blatant market orchestration, and there's no corrective stance that certain bodies are taking. We are in the wild, wild west. Now, some of you voted and prayed for this. So this the volatility, because Biden was so slow underneath Biden, and I can't get any moves into my options calls. Well, here you are. You wanted the volatility and the hurricane. Now, here you are. Enjoy this. What some of y'all pray for. Should he have some responsibility? Your number one job as an investor, a trader, please write this down, is to know every hurdle, volcano, market eruption that could happen to your portfolio and know where to get in according to that before disaster strikes. For everyone in business, when y'all get them little copyright strikes on YouTube, you need to figure out what the plan is if you get fired off the podcast or your YouTube page get taken down before it happens, not after. So as an investor, you have to know if shit. Get rid of Tim Cook. We talk about that soon. Screaming it first. What happens if they get rid of him and then know the next 6 years who could be in line, who could be third, who could be next in operations, who could be next in product development? How much longer do they have before Huawei takes them over? You got to factor all that shit in because your wife doesn't care if you can't provide because of what Tim Cook did or I said. No, he doesn't have 1 ounce of responsibility. As grown men, I'm talking to the men only, you're responsible for the returns that you get in the market based on the work you did or did not put in. Here's the great part about that too, with him being so predictable in his orchestration of markets. You can go on ChatGPT and say, based on all the time that he's been in office, this time and last, what's the average volatility drop that Trump gives in the market, and to give you a clear fucking answer. My assignment for you tonight is go do the work.
All right, so I have a quick question. I think the way you're approaching it is responsible for individual brokerage accounts. Are you asking it in terms of responsible for the overall market?
Both.
I think what you're saying is true for individuals. Mm-hmm. I think he is responsible, right? And even good or bad, he's going to claim. Well, good, he's going to claim responsibility, right? This is one of his things of glorifying himself, where the market's at an all-time high. Each index, the S&P, the Dow, the Nasdaq, all-time at highs. In fact, even part of that 60-minute segment last night was his bravado, his ego won't allow a crash to happen. He will do anything during his administration. He's going to make sure that it doesn't happen. I think we've seen this before. I just wonder how effective it will continue to be.
It won't be that effective for that long, but hypothetically, let's take them out of the. Go ahead.
It's going to continue to be effective because this is how he communicates. This is not. I think it's bigger than just manipulating the market. That's
allegedly fake news.
No, it's bigger than just that.
Yeah, thank you.
That's just a byproduct of it, because what he's doing is
it's a dog whistle financially.
He's negotiating, and the reason why it seems so weird is because we're used to politicians and presidents negotiating, sending messages behind closed channels that we don't see. That's what diplomats are for. That's the point of diplomats. So you send message to a diplomat. He's really the first president that we've ever seen that sends messages first on public. But that's his way. That's his way of sending the message. So he's sending messages to China. We're seeing it when everybody else is seeing it. We're seeing it when China sees it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I think I don't think it's just to impact the market. That's just a byproduct.
It's a negotiating tool.
It's a negotiating tool for sure. And it's a communication tool that he's utilizing that we've never seen before. Like we're not used to seeing politicians, especially presidents, operate in this manner. And that's why the markets are just so, they move on everything that he says, because he's not like he's saying important stuff like the China thing. He's talking about Israel, Hamas. Like he's saying world stuff on Truth Social.
Yes,
I agree with you, but to me, he knows that it's going to impact the market because he's seen it impact the market before. You know what I mean? Like he watched it happen in April, and he let it go for about a week.
Last presidency, he saw it happen, and I think it's more powerful now.
But these dips are even further than the first
for sure,
right? Like we're talking, Nasdaq had its worst day since like 2022. Right? In April, we saw that it was one of the worst works that it's had in its entirety. So like he's saying it. Yes, he's saying these out loud ideas. I don't know if they're truths, right? Because I don't know if he really believes that he's going to do these things or if he will do these things. He knows it's going to manipulate the market. How effective it will be is what I'm questioning. Where it's like, all right, we've seen this before. You're going to say you're going to raise tariffs. Will the market always respond this way? Yes or no?
Well, why did crypto drop so drastically on tariff news?
Because and I wanted to bring that up too. It's interesting when Bitcoin used to do the opposite of what the market is doing, and everyone keeps telling me that it's still decentralized because Langley put a name on Satoshi, but they had the same pullback as every other asset that is tied to fiat.
Yeah, and even if you look, Jamie Dimon has now announced that customers can trade.
No. But what I'm saying is,
I'm saying from an institutional standpoint.
But we could rationalize why stocks would drop on this type of news because they're tied to products that get affected from tariffs. Like gold kept going up.
First silver too.
Yeah. So cryptocurrency is not tied to tariffs.
But it is tied to institutions and institutional investors.
So is gold.
You cooking today, my boy. That ride over, right? That ride over. And hypothetically, if I had the favor that I had to give back, and I allowed you to be in a position that was guaranteed to go up from Friday to end of year 25%, and only a few people get hurt, and I make the market go back up on Sunday, and there's no mass chaos, which leads to no investigation, was the corrective measure in
that's what we need. All right, this is what I'm getting at. Because allegedly there was a major Bitcoin acquisition made at 108,000, and then it jumped right back up to 114,000. What I'm saying is,
so who purchased that? That's what I'm saying.
Who dropped it and used Trump's tweet as an excuse,
as a catalyst
to drop it?
What do you?
Because it really had no reason.
No reason to go down.
It was like, we need a buy-in price. This is a perfect opportunity.
I'm gonna deliver it to you.
Yeah. Well,
because they knew where to buy it.
Well, who could be the biggest institution that's trying to acquire?
Well, there's certain things that don't need to be said.
What's Olivia Pope? Yes.
What's understood don't need to be said.
I'll text y'all mom and dad right now. Stop.
You're posing the question.
Great question. Great journalistic integrity. Yeah.
So it's all a game, but hold long term, because I mean, I even talked to ChatGPT about this. The odds of Bitcoin not getting to $1 million is increasingly low at this point.
Yeah, I think it's less than a 3% chance that it doesn't get to $1 million.
It has to happen. When you see the amount of institutional buy-in, like I said, I mean, they said reportedly, allegedly, Trump is one of the largest holders of Bitcoin right now, $800 million of Bitcoin. Barron Trump is the youngest, he's the richest 18-year-old in America right now, $80 million worth of Bitcoin. Eric Trump has 20% of one of the largest Bitcoin holding companies. His whole family has tied their wealth to Bitcoin.
And especially if you know all the banks are backing it, so it doesn't look like you are front running the market by your family getting into it. Well played. Well played.
Yeah.
Troy, turn your mic up. They say your mic low.
Yeah, I'm about to switch the whole board in 2 seconds.
Got you. So, but yeah, like you said, gold is still going up, silver is still going up. But this is deeper than crypto Nino Brown. This is above our pay grade, but the market long term will be okay. Continue to invest in assets that matter. Index, tech, NVIDIA, AMD, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and you'll be okay. But just find ways for you to set up your family to have generational wealth the way that he is setting up his. That's the most important thing. If you have questions, please put them in chat. Troy Rashad on sabbatical real quick. Udaman said crypto is manipulated. Every asset in the United States of America or the world is manipulated. There is no currency that is free from manipulation since the beginning. This isn't just now. Fiat is probably the worst. The US dollar is probably in one of the worst positions that it has been. But every major currency from inception of man has found its way to corruption.
100%.
Check. We here?
Yes, loud and clear.
Good? Perfect.
All right, so let's get into that as far as chip conversation.
But real quick, I want to put some dates on it because I know people write these dates down and they'll hold themselves to it. So these dates are important. October 29th is the date that Trump and Xi are expected to meet at APEC in South Korea. So we'll talk this China America talk about trade. November 1st, that's when he's threatened to impose the 100% tariff on Chinese goods starting on that date. November 10th is the current U.S.-China tariff truce that is set to expire if it's not renewed or replaced. So tariffs, that talk could escalate again. And then December 1st is the date too. So that's the date that China's new export controls on those rare earth metals that you talked about are slated to come into effect. So we got to keep those dates in mind. We'll see what happens around them.
And if you miss the September drop, October is normally the time to buy depressed assets, especially small caps and tech historically. I know some people keep asking, is this the sign of a crash? We're not there yet. I think we have a good runway to the end of the year. But 27 is when I think we'll start to have some corrective action in the market for sure.
So you don't think 2026?
It could be. Well, the telltale signs are always March because that's when the fund flows come in to hedge funds. But if not, then December of next year is when we'll start to see the canary in the coal mine. But I think shit's going to hit the fan at 27. Yeah,
27.
Yeah, I've been saying this since we went to Breakfast Club. Was it 2-3 years ago?
I feel like you did say that.
Yeah,
you definitely did. You definitely did.
Put
a date on it.
For the right price, I can make your shit tight. I mean, did they want it? We go back, but for pay-per-view,
this is the new target dates
for sure.
So talking about AI chip stocks. So one of the calls that we made on Friday was the SMH. So not SMH, TSM.
Oh yeah.
So talk about that. We saw it when we got back to America. We saw that the market was bleeding and TSM was down pretty heavy relative. And made the call on that, and they was up today actually. So talk about TSM. Talk about the call.
Yeah, TSM has always been one of my favorite companies. I've talked about it for probably 6 years now.
At least
we've been in this stock since it was 83, and so we've got option calls on it since then. And so obviously we have an option stack, and what I'm talking about my stacks is that I have so many calls as the number keeps running up, the equity number keeps running up, that we enter new positions. When I saw the pullback as we landed, I'm like, this is a perfect opportune time. I said, yo, Shadi, give me like 10 minutes. I'm gonna go into my files. I'm gonna figure out a call that we can get into that makes a lot of sense. And so I saw it pull back down to 280. It had been trading at like 303, 304 in that range. But the reason I liked it, obviously, is the run up. It's been up 100% this year. But the reason I liked it is because I understand what TSM means to this economy. And when I keep hearing that we're in the second inning of the AI trade, or I don't even want to use the B word. We're in the second inning when I'm looking at the demand and I'm hearing about OpenAI and their partnership with NVIDIA, and I'm listening to OpenAI and their partnership with AMD, and I'm listening to AI, and I'm like, OpenAI and their partnership now with Broadcom. I'm thinking, okay, semi. Who manufactures for all of them? Taiwan Semi.
Yeah.
They also have their Catalyst event on Thursday. They're going to be reporting their earnings. And if you study their earnings, if you watch the third quarter of how they reported, you've seen a steady increase. And so shout out to everybody in EYLU that uses Estimize to watch the quarterly flow of these companies. I saw it depreciate to a point. I'm like, this makes a lot of sense. We got into a call. It probably was like 2:30, 2:45 on Friday. And here we are Monday. You up what 15, 20%? In 20 hours. I actually went on a shorter term call because of the Catalyst event. And so I think we're up like 60%. But again, that I'm not just doing a short-term call because I want to do a short-term call.
Yeah.
I have calls out to 2027. I have calls in 2026 for TSM. Most people saw how we started this year up 1,000% on TSM. If you understand the company, right, you're investing in it, you have shares in it already, which I do, and you understand how this piece is vital.
So crucial, yeah.
It's crazy. Like every piece is delicate, right? And this is probably one of the most. We know ASML, they're going to be reporting on Wednesday as well. Their role. Without TSM, none of this works, right? It just doesn't work, and they're that important. So I'm interested to see what happens Thursday. But yeah, I mean, if we believe in it, we should make money on the way up.
And it makes me wonder who put out the geopolitical threat to thwart them from being the #1 stock in tech. Because if they were in San Jose, TSM would be wiping the floor with NVIDIA. There's no question.
Yeah,
one of the most important companies in these last 25 years.
Yeah, they definitely need each other. I remember 3 years ago watching Warren Buffett sitting in Taiwan and talking about the importance of the company, and the only thing that was holding him back was the geopolitical tension. And then you start seeing they were I feel like they were the first ones to say, all right, we're going to bring our labs and our fabs to America. And that was the Arizona plants, which is going to be online. And that's kind of been expedited. Those plants will be online by next year. And so the most important thing that the United States wants from a fiscal standpoint, fiscal policy standpoint, is they want to make sure that they can control supply chain. And we can't have anything happen like 2020 where supply chain gets disrupted by a global pandemic. And now we don't have access. And so having it here at home is of utmost importance. And you can see it's kind of the same machine that they run. Hey, you want to do something, you better make it here. Right. And so TSM has fallen in line. Micron has fallen in line. Obviously, these American companies, you're not going to outsource this. We need to make sure that we have fabs here so we can control the supply chain. In fact, last week we talked about they offered TSM to actually produce more, and they're like, "Nah, I think we're good. We're good. We'll stay here."
Yeah, for sure. So, EY University, get your membership. Vitally important for the options. If you want to win big on options, but we also have Broadcom that did well today too. So OpenAI announced a partnership with Broadcom. OpenAI has been announcing partnerships with everybody,
left and right.
And every time they announce a partnership, it helps the stock. It helped AMD stock. It helped Broadcom stock, but it also helps the larger community. So SMH was up today because as the chips go up, then that chip ETF continues to rise as well. So yeah, Broadcom and OpenAI, what's that merger about?
This is about it's crazy because we spoke about it last week.
We sure did.
I bought just listening back to the clip, I actually mentioned Broadcom in there. I didn't mean to, although you can see the writing was kind of on the wall when we're talking about infrastructure from a GPU standpoint. What is Broadcom known for? Connectivity and high-speed networking, right? So that's what they do with AI clusters. So it just kind of makes sense that they would have this. So now when you think of that supply chain, yes, you got the GPUs coming from NVIDIA, right? The same circle. Oracle going to build the infrastructure with Stargate. And now you have high-speed connectivity with bandwidth for AI clusters, specifically the GPU racks, right? So how do the racks connect and communicate with each other? How do we do it faster? Broadcom has mastered that. It makes sense that they're going to partner because NVIDIA, AMD now pretty much is making chips with OpenAI. So now you have the connectivity. I think that the piece, if we start putting the puzzles together, right? We know the connectivity, right? Because these GPUs need to live in racks. And so my thing was like, well, who makes the racks? And so now when I remember a couple months ago, I'm like, well, let's look at the partnership of who's making racks. And if you guys remember when we were at GTC, we saw that company that made the racks, right? This guy named Michael Dell had a company, and we're talking about, oh, this makes perfect sense, right? So they're making racks, and they can white label the racks, and they can give to companies. In fact, if you go back to 2022 and you look who Broadcom partnered with, right, in terms of AI clusters, it was Michael Dell and Dell. And so now this raises the question: will they now OpenAI now partner or continue that partnership to build those racks to now have that connectivity inside the data centers, which is just an interesting play. But if you just start putting the puzzle pieces together, NVIDIA check, AMD check, Broadcom check, who are their partners? Who are they using to help create this infrastructure? Great deal, everybody that's been in Broadcom. We've been talking about it for at least 3 years. Congrats to you. And if you've been watching what Nancy Pelosi's been doing, she made a hell of a killing too. So
for sure.
Yeah, this is a good one. In fact, I wrote down the quote that the Hock Tan, who's the CEO of Broadcom, he said this is a pivotal moment in the pursuit of artificial general intelligence. And so you can see Broadcom has a clear vision on how they're going to get ahead in this, right? We're going to partner with the company that's going to be a leader. In fact, if we start looking at OpenAI, I think we've said that it's a great company. It's a great company. But the moves that they've made, and I still think there's some more moves, because soon the next announcement will be who they're going to use in terms of energy to help power these data centers that they're bringing online. They have literally vertically integrated right in front of us.
Yeah, look at OpenAI as a company, what they're building as a digital god, and all these partnerships are spots to be 12 apostles to make sure that this works. Not only is it a geopolitical fight that we cannot lose to China, you need a heroic American story for a stock to go public in the midst of the tensions that we're having politically, and you're going to need a rock star company to offset a 55 to 65% drop in the market if we have that crash in 27. That's why you see, once again, I've never, in all the years that I've studied business, seen a non-publicly traded company be talked in the same limelight and allure with other publicly traded companies that run the world. It's the first time I'm ever seeing it. So not only is it a hedge to prevent our market from falling, it is also our greatest shining superstar to not lose this geopolitical war with China. So these partnerships matter a hell of a lot, not only in terms of the product, but to keeping the market hoisted up once we hit this downturn in 27.
What about the Intel CEO saying that there's an AI bubble?
I watched that this morning. Former CEO.
Just to be very clear, this is the CEO of Intel that I liked. Truth teller, very sharp. I think we keep trying to escape if we are in a bubble, and I think this first inning is coming to an end, and the players have already been selected who are going to do incredibly well. The part that I don't agree with is that we're in the same kind of market as 99. The companies are stronger. They're printing more money, higher revenue, higher profit margin. The thing that may drag us into a downturn is the geopolitical issues that we're having. Debt to GDP being incredibly high, like we talked about. The job market is locked. Money is tighter than it's been. It feels like 2019 all over again, and the curtain hasn't revealed what the monster is behind it. So I don't see the parallel of 99. But as far as it being a bubble, absolutely. And I commend him for saying it. I think the next iteration and getting to agentic is going to be incredibly important. But the first wave of every company going up 200% because they have something AI adjacent, I think that's starting to come to an end for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you. And it got me to thinking the things that a lot of startups, and when they say bubble, yes. The end of his quote was, yes, this is a bubble, but he doesn't expect the bubble to pop anytime soon. In fact, for several years, it's going to continue.
Probably
like
3 or 4 years. Yeah.
Right. The startup companies that are coming on board because of AI and having crazy valuations, yes, that is a sign. But I think you're right in terms of the 7 that are leading. They're going to continue to lead.
Oh, for sure.
The difference, and I kind of revisit history here and look back. The biggest difference when they talk about the AI bubble and the internet bubble of 99 was like, how was the internet going to make money? People didn't understand how to make money at that time. When you look at this, there's clearly a pathway to make money using artificial intelligence, and they've kind of laid it out, whether it was from cloud services, whether it's from the chips, whether it's from AI, ads, what is from productivity tools, scaling down companies to add revenue to the bottom line. The other part is the debt. Where is NVIDIA spending its money from? Its own cash flow.
Yeah.
Right? Where's Microsoft from its own cash flow? Where's Apple from its own cash flow? And so like when you start thinking like, hey, they're not really borrowing money to pay for this infrastructure. OpenAI a little different, right? But
until they go public.
Yeah. But for the other ones, the core, that Mag 7, and we can throw Tesla in there, a lot of it's coming from the cash flow that they're making from their businesses now. And so when you take that into account, it's like, well, is spending going to slow down? Well, every time that they make money, what do they do with it? More CapEx expenditures. In fact, we talked about it going from 230 billion this year to 290 billion next year. The reason why we hear bubble is because at a certain point they won't spend like that. And what will the return on investment be?
Negative.
That we don't know.
Negative.
Well, that goes to a question
right
from the audience, because I want to have a question. What are your thoughts on the growing topic around major AI companies faking revenue and just passing money around to each other?
There are some that are doing that. That's not OpenAI. The only ones that I'm vouching for is Microsoft. Google's done an amazing job. OpenAI, when it becomes publicly traded, is amazing. There are a couple other LLMs that are solid, but those are the top tier. I've been screaming that for 3 or 4 years. Are there some other AI companies that are hallucinating with the revenue numbers? For sure. I'm not gonna do the Takashi and say it, but for sure. And you'll see the fallout. If you don't hear me mention a company, there's a reason why. So you can insert whichever company, because even if I personally would invest in it, I can see the quality in leadership and in the revenue model. There are just some that are untouchable.
Yeah, right.
So OpenAI will be fine. The table has been set for them. And there are some adjacent companies that are using AI, but they're not going to be in any tech bubble or tech innovation. There's only going to be a few players that win. Like for those of you who are young, right? The dominance of Microsoft to have now should have been with CompuServe. They didn't achieve it. Then AOL, Time Warner merger, didn't achieve it.
No.
These are wars that are being fought in real time. Sam has just been smart enough to go to the top of the top because they all need him to usher in this next wave of internet connectivity, and the web platforms needed to support that dead internet theory that's going on as well, because there's not as many users on these platforms. And some people are arguing that the peak of social media was 2022. Now, if I put AI influencers there to manipulate you, to keep you on the platform longer, that will help, because now creators are going through creative burnout.
I'm only going to put an asterisk next to they all need them, because I think Zuckerberg would argue that he doesn't. I think he might.
Okay.
From a user standpoint, from a technology standpoint, I think he would, right? Like they have 3 billion users a month.
How many active minutes per month per user though?
I think it went up. Right? I gotta check. They're gonna be reporting on the 29th of
shout to Zuck and shout to HQ.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to them. I mean, when you talk about what they have at their disposal, OpenAI doesn't have just yet. I think they will. I think they will compete at that level, right? When you talk, I think they just hit the 800 million mark of users monthly, and so well behind. But I mean, all signs are pointing that that's where it's headed. But I think when you look at Meta from a technological standpoint, from what they're doing, and obviously from they'll use NVIDIA and they have other partners as well. I think they look at OpenAI as like, we can do that.
Going into whatever downturn could be in 2027, OpenAI, NVIDIA, Microsoft, Broadcom, TSM, they're making a technological transformer. They're all working together to make sure that they don't get killed. My concern is Reddit, Intel, Salesforce, Groupon, the non-exceptional social web 1.0 businesses, you're fucked. What are you going to do? Your entire business model can be recreated. Even Robinhood, making retail traders quant adjacent to be able to build your own indicators on platforms. That's going to hurt other brokerages. All that Robinhood now for the hood, he heard you. Game over.
Yeah.
So if you're not adapting fast enough, you're going to be devastated. And there's no coming back. Duolingo. I don't care how many tokens you spent with OpenAI. If I can get my plan to travel overseas with y'all and transcribe and be able to have a basic conversation, then go back to Mexico real quick and say Lo siento to whoever I bump into, it's over with. A lot of businesses are going to be destroyed, and through every wave, companies get devastated. Apple's going through devastation, and let's talk about it now. I screamed for a fucking year, replace Tim Cook for it's too late, and now it's too late. Fellas, it's a lesson you got to learn. Sometimes, Shadi, we talk about a blackout. Sometimes you got to have a star replacement in place before the main situation don't work out. Sometimes you got to have a recruiting system, the farm system. You got to. Now they're saying, well, maybe no, Tim Cook should step down, and it's too fucking late.
Well, is it too late? Talk about Apple.
It just got downgraded. It got downgraded today.
I mean,
it's too late.
It's still.
You have the capital on hand. Go ahead.
It's almost at its all time. Not that far from its all time.
It isn't. This is true. The fundamentals.
I'm talking about the introduction and acquisition into an AI infrastructure that will allow them to be a formidable LLM player. To be clear, for context, clip that VSG. Chris.
Yeah, I mean, they've gotten good reviews on their new phone. We did a review of their AirPod.
Great job.
When we were in Senegal. So okay, yeah, Tim Cook. There's some speculation that he may be replaced, but is it okay? So first, let's talk about that, and then let's talk about Apple as a whole, because ChatGPT still bullish on Apple.
Yo, congrats to you for making that headline, Ian.
Thank you.
Okay.
So yeah, let's talk about the first thing of you think that Tim Cook is really going to get fired?
I don't. Okay, even in that. So let's take the sensationalism out of it, because even though I brought up that he should be replaced, I said he should go to chairman. If he's considering stepping down, and now once again, I've been saying for the last 4 weeks, and I'll continue. Timothy D. Cook, I sincerely apologize, because I did not know the fight you were fighting that was stopping you from getting to the AI that you needed. If he's stepping down as the ruler of one of the most powerful tech companies of all time, what would make you step down? So you can either elect to be removed from the seat by your own volition, or there may be some forces that may want to get you fired. Michael Jordan, despite he wanted to come back and play for 7, there were some other forces that didn't allow it to happen.
I mean, Tom Brady wanted to keep playing for the Patriots.
But then there's bigger forces in that program upstairs that will allow you to not continue to go forward. I will leave it at that. I'll let Andrew Ross Sorkin tell that story in 3 or 4 years. Now you're rushing for succession planning. So if they're being blocked, shout out to everyone at HQ at Apple. If you're being gently blocked from acquiring the LLM to give you a lead advantage in timing, because they have the cash on hand. And I keep saying it, Microsoft's partnership idea was supposed to be Apple's, just like Stargate was supposed to be Microsoft's. So now, but different regimes come into place, and now different people get selected for different positions to do certain things. Stargate, this will go to Larry. Microsoft, you still have OpenAI. We're going to find other ways for you guys to work together. I think he's been thwarted from what I was told, from acquiring an LLM and given some of the geopolitical stuff. He is considering resignation in lieu of those issues. How will the stock perform? The stock will still be okay. I haven't removed it out of 2 Tech 2 index. And I probably won't until 2034. Don't love the successor that he has in place, but He would be a good executive. I care more about the operation side and how many other things that they will be thwarted from investing in. Once again, they have the cash on hand to do the deal with OpenAI. They were blocked from doing it. So the stock will be fine. I do think Tim Cook will step down in the next year and a half, 2 years, but the timing of when he leaves is going to matter. You just can't up and leave because you're upset. That's not how big business works. It's never has worked that way. Never has worked that way. So they need a clear succession plan just for his own safety because of how important that company is. And geopolitically, you can't just have upheaval in a publicly traded company, which then may look my presidency look bad. Doesn't work that way. But what do I know? I was just the person that said that he should step down. If I made you money, please put yes in chat. It's tough, yo.
We still got Apple is still part of the portfolio. It's not going anywhere. Will it be? I think we're looking at it from the standpoint of like this was the leader of all the companies.
I said earlier,
right? This was the market mover, and we have literally watched it get passed as the market mover, right? Like the way we talk about NVIDIA and how it's moved and its innovation and how it's vital to the future. We looked at this company the same way. And so I guess there's a bit of, I don't know if we want to call it disappointment, but it's a bit of like, hey, what's happening? What's the next thing? How are we going to be a player in this race going forward? Because you can see it, even if you look at the market caps of the companies that are catching up to it. Yeah, I mean, Google's right there. Google's right there. Amazon. Somebody just asked me if I'm still big on Amazon. Of course, I'm always be big on Amazon. You don't have to ask that question. It's having its own consolidation. I was looking at the charts. It opened the year at 227, and it's here now at 219. With all of the run that AI and technology has had, it still has been kind of just sitting there. So the way we talk about Apple, I mean, Amazon could be in this category, but we understand where it's headed in terms of an innovation, right? When we talked about data centers, we saw them do that. When it was time for them to invest in a company, we saw them give $1 billion to Anthropic and Claude. So they're part of it. We just haven't seen the same type of situation with Apple, but
they'll still be top 7. And also to the audience who's listening, I want you to stop taking my amazing analysis and turning it into a clipped up piece that I hate something when I'm giving you detailed analysis. Other entrepreneurs have went through this. Mark Zuckerberg went through this with Litecoin. People forget in terms of the adoption of crypto into a company on balance sheet. After Jack, Mark was one of the first ones that's fighting for it.
What was it? It was called Libra? What was it called? Libra, right?
And it got blocked.
That was
early. And the acquisition of TikTok.
What do you think about XRP?
I think it's a great asset. My stance on that has not changed. I think they may be fourth. Oh, you know what? Also, too, a good way to tell how well the asset is going to do and what the institutions have planned for it is to look at the margin price of the future. I'm glad you brought this up, Rashad. For one contract on the futures market, Charles Schwab, is $231,000 for one Bitcoin future that you can hold for 30 days. If you look at Ethereum, $105,000 and $798 for one contract. Historically, the VIX was the most priciest asset, and I think that's at around 19,000. But if you want to know how well an asset is going to do, look at the margin price of the future. Your homework assignment for the night is when XRP futures are available to be traded on the futures market. What is the margin price supposed to be? So that's a quick little gym lesson.
Back to the homework assignments.
Got to get back to the homework. Dow is 17,000. NASDAQ is 35,000 per contract. It's if you're swing trading it. But once again, Bitcoin is $231,000. That's some change for every contract. Crude is 10,000 in comparison. So that will tell you not only the validity, but what the institutions believe that the prices will do long term. Homework. Back to the old format.
Homework assignment. The voiceover play.
Ain't I great, Jeff Jarrett? Let's get back to it. And then y'all let everybody white come on CNBC like, oh, Tim Cook should probably be replaced by Trump. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Kudos to Tim. I didn't know what battle you're fighting though. That's a hell of a fight to have to deal with.
Yeah. I'll add to that homework assignment. Go listen to what Larry Fink said about retirement planning and what he wants to now put inside of retirement plans.
And it's interesting if they are looking to add those assets in, it tells you about the state of the dollar and the state of the job market, because the 64, I've been saying this, 60-40 portfolio stocks and bonds are dead. They're dying. If you have to put those other alternative assets in, it will tell you that the quality of the main assets are decaying rapidly.
Yeah. And it's also telling you that they're investing in their clients, so that are looking at it like, how do we get exposure? And if you don't give us exposure, somebody else will.
Yep.
What about small and mid-cap stocks?
Do your research and invest in what you love. I know, shout out to those of you who were in RGTI, killing today.
Oh yeah, it's smoking.
Okay.
I just to speak on RGTI, because when we talked about quantum, people, they still ask me about this. Yes, I brought up RGTI because, again, I like the things that encompass the entire space. I don't have any quantum stocks. I just don't have them yet.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at anybody that's making money doing that
at all.
Congratulations. My focus is just in a different area right now, but congrats. RGTI is doing great. I know IO and Q is doing great. Congrats.
The blueprint is to treat it the same way you would a trade in the futures market or options. After you have a big run up in small caps, get 200, 300, 400% return. Take half of that money and put it into a larger cap. Because my only fear is some people holding through for an even bigger gain, 1,000% gainer, and they don't get it, or you miss out on some safety in other assets. Like, the name of the game is to get a really explosive win like that and then park it to somewhere where you don't have to think about. If you're constantly asking someone else, what do you think the investment is going to do? At some point, you know it's going to have a deep pullback. I never worry about Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, QQQ, VT. Never. There's nothing to even freak out about. Even when Friday was happening, I'm like, I should have recovered in 14 days maximum. It'll be fine. So if you've hit a big win in mid-cap stocks that are popular, take half of that money and put it into a company that is going to dominate through the next 5 or 6 years. And someone else earlier asked, okay, well, should we go all cash for 27? No, buy the deeper dips. Preset your orders for 40% off, 50% off for where we are now. Trade your way through it if you're a trader, but wait for those big pullbacks, because those, no one ever says it, but the crashes that come are the liquidity events and generational wealth events that you pray for.
Mm-hmm.
You pray for those moments. Brexit, the night of the election for Trump, first time.
Yeah, we all say it. Oh man, I can't wait for an event like that to happen. And then the
April.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens. You have to be prepared and take advantage of it. Got to be prepared.
Yeah. Congrats to y'all. This is no hate, no shade.
Yep.
Congrats to everybody that has made money trading quantum stocks.
Even in Palantir, like, geopolitically and morally, I don't love it. But if you made a bunch of money in Palantir the last 2 or 3 years, okay, great. Take some of the money and put it all into Microsoft so you don't have to worry. Or OpenAI when that's public, or NVIDIA, or AVGO, or any of the top 20 that Google that are going to overperform and over-index incredibly well.
The Palantir is nearly at $500 billion, which is pretty. I mean, that's pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's at 410, 415 right now, market cap. Pretty impressive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pray for Tim Cook, though.
Tim Cook?
That's a tough fight. That's a tough fight to lead an organization, a nation that big, and then have so many geopolitical issues that are stopping you not only from making your company better, but then also be in opposition with the leadership that you're having to do business with. That's what I'll tell some of y'all. There's a sweet spot in getting rich. If you overshoot that number, you got a whole bunch of other headaches that come with that life. I want to be a billionaire. I don't know if you can deal with what comes with all that.
What fight are you referring to?
That's a B613 G4 classified. Leave it for Candace Owens. Won't get me on this big broadcast. I've learned, Rashad. Back to you.
Oh, somebody. Oh yeah. Shout out to This is a fact. Shout out to my boy Dahuda. And he's been talking about Applied Digital. Somebody just put Applied Digital. Yeah. Even in the midst of that slight pullback on Friday, they had reported their earnings, I believe Thursday, and kind of blew out their earnings. And so that's another one of these companies, man. Mm-hmm. And I was actually educated on them. So shout out to everybody that made money. I'm never going to be mad if you've made money, right? I love to see your unrealized gains become realized gains. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of everybody. Mm-hmm. Let's keep doing it.
And even when running a publicly traded company, you aren't as free as the illusion of freedom may look like on TV.
Say that again.
Even in running a publicly traded company, you are not as free as you would think that you are running a publicly traded company. It's like some of y'all like, y'all want to get to, boy, if I just get to 300 million, I'm gonna exit the game. They may not let you exit. It's a sweet spot. You better go study history.
It may not let you exit.
You don't see that in perpetuity at the end.
Yeah.
There's certain alienable rights that you don't have once you get to 600 and 700 and 1.2. Like him just walking away just because I don't feel like it. No, it's not that easy. They made Rockefeller break his companies and send them to go. Like when you go study business history, even a good show on Netflix, go watch House of Guinness. You would just think, oh, beer manufacturer. They were damn near led a nation and had to fight a war as a damn near as a mafia to get that business off the ground. Rice Krispie. Some businesses that are so cute and quaint, a lot of blood was shed over those businesses. It's not as simple as you think.
Somebody said, what's the next play?
And listen the first fucking time. That's the motherfucking play. Listen the first fucking time. VOO, VTI, VGT, Microsoft, Apple, NVIDIA. That's it. Listening the first time. No, ain't nothing else. Ain't nothing. Keep at what. Shout. I'm not saying this to you, but it's funny. The first play is the play.
Build your foundation. That's the play. Build your foundation.
We can read 22 Tech 2 Index.
Yeah,
that's the play. Everyone else keeps trying to tell you more. Ladies, yes or no? Fellas, sometimes we over index and try to get the next thing when the first thing worked the first fucking time. You're gonna have a headache regardless.
I'll say this.
No.
I'm not gonna say the company. I'm not gonna say the company.
Go ahead.
I'll say the areas that I'm currently looking at. Right, like obviously I'm always studying the semis. Right now, I'm really focused on energy. That's why I'm studying. Not to say that that's not a place you should. It might be a place you want to
tech components though. The tech runs the world. Like we keep splicing.
Well, this is the thing. Well, tech is going to need power, so that should be a place maybe you should look. There's a couple of ETFs out there that have caught my eye and that I like, particularly around companies like Netflix. So
fire content creators. What should I invest in? Netflix, Google, Microsoft, Apple. That's it. I like DGI. We can't invest in them here. Another one Apple should have fucking acquired and didn't do. Put it in chat. The first play is the play forever.
Yeah, Cindy, you're right. It don't matter what we say. They don't listen.
They do listen. And kudos to you.
Most people, they listen, they don't execute. You're right.
Yeah, for having the courage to ask the question. And I'm sorry I jumped on you the way that I did. I apologize. I can do better. Lo siento. But listen the first time.
All right, we got guests. We got some guests.
Chris, clip me up. Jeremy, what's good?
What's up, fam? What's up?
Hey.
Hey, Jay, is my mic working?
Man, we
I
live.
hear you loud and clear.
You loud and clear. All right. I had to hit him with some of that ET Jeremy energy, you know?
Yeah, man. Now the energy about to go up
real quick.
Jeremy Anderson, Eric Thomas, man, legends in the game when it comes to public speaking, motivational speaking, communication, however you want to put it. And friends of the program, Jeremy did 3 InvestFest for us.
Yep.
And ET, we had him on Earn Your Leisure. He spoke at InvestFest, VIP night, and
it's the main stage. Yep.
Don't downplay it. I got on the podcast and the book hit the New York Times bestseller. Don't downplay that.
We just
Earn Your Leisure
talk your
podcast.
talk.
We just trying to help everybody we can, man.
Hey, I ain't have to go on no other podcast to make it happen. I didn't have to do no tour. I did y'all and I was done.
Shop, you feel me?
So first and foremost, gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
So it's always good when we have different levels of business on the show and get different perspectives. So we're gonna have a good conversation. So public speaking is something that I don't know if you guys are aware of this or not, but actually my degree is in communications, not business. So public speaking is one of probably the most feared things that any person fears the most, is actually getting in front of a crowd and speaking. But it's one of these things that's vital to any business, especially if you're going to be online communicating. Like, it's going to be difficult if you're just going to be, the face of a brand, but not actually be able to speak. So we're going to have a conversation about speaking and the importance of it and how it relates to business, but the different types of speaking and communications. Can we talk about that? Because I know that, people might not fully understand that there are different types of communication and speaking methods, right?
Yeah. Let me say this though before we get started, because I think too many people look at it too complex. It's like we having a conversation right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what speaking is. When you talk about public speaking, it's just y'all on the mic right now. Y'all, you know what I'm saying, on the platform, y'all talking for hours about something that you guys are very knowledgeable about. And there's some revenue with that, right? And so I just try to tell people, most humans talking 8 to 10 hours a day, you're just not getting paid to talk. And you really need to understand what is it that you're talking about, what are you knowledgeable about, and then you need to find the venue to do that. So I just want to say that before we go there, because nobody's scared of talking. I guess when people get on the mic or something, they get scared, or they get on stage and they're scared. But it's like, bro, we all public speak. It reminds me of somebody who told me, I was like, bro, I'm not into real estate. I don't do that. There's like, you are in real estate. I was like, bro, I'm not in real estate. There's like, no, you are. You're on the wrong side of it. So you paying rent to somebody. The kids in college. You're on the side where you pay. You're not on the side where you're getting paid. And I say the same thing with speaking. You're already a public speaker. All of us are speaking on a regular basis. You got to get on the side of it where you get paid for speaking and not just do it, you know what I'm saying, on the stands, if that makes sense, get in the game.
That's rich. Let me piggyback on that, E. We all talking and chopping it up right now. And I think, Shadi, what makes that question significant is a lot of people see E on stage and speaking in front of 30,000 people. They see me speaking on big stages and they feel like, yo, I'm not ready for that level. Let me tell you something, bro. We got folks getting 6-7 figures that are thought leaders, that are doing workshops, that are doing keynote presentation. It's a lot of people that want to learn how to effectively communicate. So there are those who are motivational speakers and inspirational speakers, but then you got those in the faith-based community, men and women empowerment, corporate, universities, speak for sports teams. So it's a lot of different ways to speak and communicate. And like he just said, everybody is always speaking. We all are communicating. It just depends on which avenue. So I do want to say, for those individuals watching and they like, yeah, but I'm a little nervous at the big stage. Well, maybe you're not called to speak in front of 2,500 people like that on some big platform. But maybe you want to be able to effectively communicate with your team or with your company or do workshops or presentations or professional developments or trainings. Like, we're showing individuals how to get that bag. So like he says, you're already talking. Now it's just a matter of how you make that investment so you can get paid by doing it.
Yeah, I think that's what makes this so interesting, and salute to you, brothers, because most people don't think that speaking can become a business for you, right? So you talked about guys making 6 and 7 figures, but the person that's starting, right? Like, this is one of those things. there are some people who are just naturally great. Like there's some great orators, and they don't know how to turn into a business. Where do you think people should start inside that space?
Yeah, I think personally, and I got some numbers, and I'm grateful because y'all so deep. I'm like, I can get on here and get deep a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We get into the numbers. But I read something that said there's over 40,000 plus corporate conferences, summits, sales meetings. Then you got another 30,000 gigs that's in trades, industry, conventions. Then you got another 15,000 as universities, schools, right? Then you got another 20,000 churches, faith-based. Then you got local chamber of commerce, civic groups, TED Talks. That's another 10,000. So, bro, you're looking over 100,000 opportunities to speak, right? That's how many opportunities are available, a year. And I think where you start is you start where it's your expertise. When I was listening to you guys, I was just like, bruh, the index, the market, like I pay somebody to do that. But the way y'all talk about it, it make it seem like, elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like adding and subtracting. I'm like, oh, they making me think I could really do this thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I just feel like you need to pick the subject that you're most knowledgeable about. Because guess what? You don't speak about stuff you don't know. Nobody talks about something that they don't know. It's impossible. If you don't have that knowledge in your head, you can't speak about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think where you start is just asking yourself, like, yo, what am I knowledgeable about? Like, what do I talk about that I'm just sweet at it without even trying? And then that's what we're here to help you to do, to take it and turn it into a skill set, so you can get paid from it. So that's what I would say. Start where you have the most knowledge, the most experience, and it comes naturally and easy to you.
And it's exposure. If it wasn't for E, I promise you, Ian, I didn't know what I was doing, bro. I've known E for over 30 years, bro. I'm seeing the big homie speak, and then I see he bought his crib in Alabama. Then they bought a crib in Michigan. Then they bought a crib overlooking the city in San Diego. And so I realized, like, it's something to this speaking. You feel me? Like, when you see people doing it, it's like, man, and I can still be me, and I can still do it in my authentic self. So I could take so when I saw E do it, I realized what was possible for me. And who did he see before him? Les Brown do it, right? And so I think when we realized, but the E paved the way. I will say this though. E paved the way for us to be our authentic selves.
Absolutely.
And be able to flow differently. So I gotta pay homage and respect to the OG triple OG. But I think seeing him, it was just like, wow. But then we need to figure out now, so we're not out here just freestyling. Who am I gonna add the most value to? Who's my audience? Who have I been called to speak to? Who have I been called to pour into? Who have I been called to educate? What game, what insight can I give to help them go to the next level?
Yeah, and Jeremy struggled with that. When he came to me, he was doing schools and he was doing churches. And I was like, bro, I ain't trying to be funny. Everybody can't do churches and schools, but the ROI is in the corporations, in the schools. Like the schools got to check, right? I don't know that a church is going, like, not to be disrespectful, but a church ain't looking to pay nobody $40,000, $50,000 to speak. So I was like, man, you can always go back to church and donate your time or go back. But when you do your website, when you start doing all of your marketing material, you need to let schools know. And then when Jay started doing schools, I was like, bruh, bump the stage. You got to look at it like y'all look at the market. Start creating curriculums. Like do stuff where you could be asleep and your stuff is still getting sold. So Jay went from speaking on stages to start selling books and curriculums, and so now he making money, not just coming in the flesh, but now he making money in his sleep. So again, it's not just you speaking, but once you figure out what you're good at, now you can turn that into a master class. You can turn that into a convention. You can turn that into a mastermind. So once you figure out bruh, I see cats in sports. I'm like, bruh, we've been on that. It's just recently that ESPN and Fox and, people got their own podcast where they waxing deep on sports, but bro, they getting paid.
Yeah.
And it's like, we've been knowing how to talk about sports. We just didn't know you could get a check and talk about sport. In the barbershop, how long have we been talking about sports in the barbershop? Now it's a podcast and people got sponsors and whatever and making bread. So again, what are they doing? They're speaking, and they're speaking intelligently, but they also get to do it in their authentic selves. And I think that's what's changing the game now. There was a time you had to be like Zig. You had to be like Jim Rohn. You had to be like, Og Mandino. You had to have that look. You had to be corporate. But to Jeremy's point, and I don't take credit for it, Les was the one that told me, these names you calling, bro. He's like, bro, don't do that. You black, you the one. Like, you the golden child. Forget all of them. You say you number one. I would just respect like this person. He's like, don't do that. So he was the one that told me, hey, I had to do this. When y'all talk about the future of the market, he was like, you the future of the game. Don't let us put you in no box and make you speak this way. You go out and be your authentic self. You look at rap, you look at how hip hop is changing the game, like flow with hip hop. As hip hop is evolving and changing things, you hide behind hip hop. And that's why I call myself E.T. the hip hop preacher, because I saw it. I saw hip hop was more than music. I saw it was a culture. And, you watching TV. And the Colonel got rap on, and the Colonel doing, a hip hop move. And so I kind of modeled myself after, hip hop, and was like, boom, let's make this move. So yeah, be yourself, man, and know what you know. I'm telling you, it's a lot of money to be made.
A two-parter for you guys. Can you talk to us about, in light of AI and all the jobs that it could take, how speaking is AI proof? And secondly, how do you both become masters of your craft at speaking?
Yeah, so one thing E and I have been talking about a lot lately, and we about to really double down on, is with all that's happening with AI, we're showing people that we coach and mentor that's in our inner circle. We're showing them how to leverage AI, but it's a whole bunch of folks that's going to lose their jobs. Let me tell you something. I don't care how cold these videos be, the holograms, it look real, it sound real. I'm talking to my chat homie every single day. We going back and forth, but you cannot take away that human element. So speaking is AI proof. I promise you, when the Ford Motor Company brought me in to speak in front of their staff, they weren't going to bring in no AI. They wanted somebody real. They had real life. They had real experiences. And truth be told, I believe that the more we get into AI and the more that, we're learning from them and this whole world we living in, people are going to long for something more real. They're going to long for something authentic. So at all the tech and everything else is happening in the marketplace, like, that's cool, but speakers can't be replaced. Now, the employees can be replaced, the everyday person can be replaced, but when somebody needs somebody to come in and move their team, to move their staff, to help them move the bottom line, to get the students and the kids and the sports teams, the ball players, the coaches, the athletes, the members, the employees, the C-suite executives, to get them motivated to go to that next level, to produce the bottom line, like, that's when they're going to come in and they're going to need speakers, regardless of what happens. Like, speakers will never be replaced, because no matter how dope AI is, no matter how dope ChatGPT is, it can give me some insight, but when I hear from somebody that's real, that's really been there, that can empathize, that can sympathize with me, somebody I can relate to them and their story and their journey, like, that's what puts us in a safe place. So when everybody else is out here panicking about what's happening in the world, what's happening with the economy, what's happening with their jobs, we sleeping like babies and jumping on planes and getting the bag.
I'm gonna say this. I've been doing this for over 30 years, and you guys were talking about the market before. And of course, not on y'all level, I'm in the market, I'm in the real estate, but speaking is what I've been doing. Bro, I'm gonna be real. The speaking industry has not shifted since I started. Like, that's the one thing that hadn't crashed. Speaking opportunities have not crashed. Like, it's probably more speaking engagements than ever before. But I'll say this, being a Motown kid, you got James Brown, you got Lil Richie, you got Michael Jackson. AI cannot replace soul. That's what we got, bro. We got soul, bro. You can't replace that. And a lot of us have the soul, but we don't know how to use the soul. So to Jeremy's point, we got Texas A&M, bro. This dude, this is his job. He left Duke. He came to Texas A&M. If he don't do well, he out. And so for me, I don't just speak. I build a relationship with the coaches. And I'm letting the coaches know, like, bro, I ain't trying to be funny. You got the X's and O's, but 90% of your players, they black, bro. That you don't understand where they come from. You don't understand what they've been through. So, coach, just give me the bag. Tell me what the expectations are. I just left Texas A&M, bro. Let's look at their history. I started off with them, and they number 4 in the nation right now. That I went in there and said some stuff to them in a way that coach, as a white male, he just can't say that. He can't say it like that. He might want to say it, but he can't say it. But I can get under them boys' skin, and I can really push them in a way. And I'm saying, I don't know what's going to happen at the end of the season. But when I asked him, he was like, bro, we just trying to make the playoff. Bro, they number 4 in the nation right now. You feel me? And so I'm supposed to be going to Baltimore, but I heard the Ravens. I heard Coach upset, and so I heard Coach may not be feeling me coming. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but let me just say this: if you bring me in, you're gonna see a difference the rest of the season. You're gonna see a difference. So that's what speaking does. It's the soul, and it directs people in a way. It gives people a sense of purpose, and AI gives you information, but it don't got soul, bro.
And as a quick follow-up to both of you, I've heard both of you speak a ton. Two of the greatest men to walk the planet and never grace the stage. Like, how did you get great as you guys are on stage and commanding that room and energy?
Well, I guess for me, bro, it's just really spending time with the people. You know, it was funny. My church, we were doing an event, back to school event, and bro, they was buying stuff that I was like, these kids don't even want this stuff. But I was like, I get it. You're not in the schools. You're not in the youth detention centers. Like, you're not spending time with people. So you're giving them what you want. And for me, just staying like, bro, I'm still on the rental car bus. I'm still renting car. Cats be seeing like, E.T., that's you. I try to stay like with the people where I blew up. I'm still at Michigan State, still doing my program. That's where I met CJ. That's where I met. And you know what I'm saying? So for me, you know, Jeremy didn't say it, but I was Jeremy high school teacher. You know what I'm saying? I was taking Jeremy on the road when I used to speak. They used to be doing skits and acting. And so people look at what I'm doing at Michigan State. I was like, yo, I was doing it when I was their teacher. So I just try to stay in the environment that blew me up, because you get the pulse of the people. You know what's wrong. You know what's going on. Listen to podcasts like this. Y'all got 20, 30, 40 people coming to events. You know what I'm saying? And you stay among the people who are at the top. What are they talking about? How do the people responding? Looking at the comments. So if you stay among the people, it just makes it that much easier when you get up. You already know the language. You already know the codes. You already know the rules. You know what I'm saying? You're not guessing. And so that's how I've done it. Just staying with the people and learning from the people, listening to the people. And I just get up and say what they want to hear, but just say it, you know, in a spirit that, you know, I'm not going to say, I don't know who can say it like that. I don't want to have the only one, or Jeremy the only one, or Inky the only one. But I'm saying I know the people so well. When I get up, all I got to do is just speak with that passion to hit them.
And E is the true definition of the man of the people. So when we go to companies, we're asking, we got a whole list of questions. You know what I'm saying? What are your pain points? How do you want them to feel when we get done speaking? What do you want them to learn? What are some of the biggest challenges? If you could change one thing within your company or organization, what would it be? What's keeping you up at night? I'm asking these CEOs, these C-suite execs, these superintendents and principals of schools, like, what's stressing you out? Because one thing he taught me years ago, you start solving problems for them, I promise you the max people going to pay for information is $25,000 or $5,000. They start paying for that celebrity status, and they start paying for you to solve problems. And so I start asking all those questions. I promise you, Ian, it's not rocket science. And we got a whole framework, which is why all the people we rock with is killing it. When I went to, bro, Elon hit us. When I went to SpaceX to speak for his company, bro, they was, even though with all this technology, they wasn't embracing AI. They was like, we getting ready for the launch. I was at the Starship joint in Texas at their Starship place. They was like, we're getting ready for launch. Our employees are working 14 to 16-hour shifts. They tired. We need somebody to give them that energy. We need somebody to give them that drive. They hit E. E couldn't make it. They hit me. I went there and gave them that work. Why? Because they wanted somebody real. So even the techies is like, there's a place for tech and AI. We want something real. And so we are able to do it and speak from our authentic place and be ourselves doing it, but we also not on some vain stuff like, I'm gonna talk about what I want to talk about. No. What are the problems? When you go meet with a doctor, they want to know all the symptoms. Troy, they want to know, all right, was there anybody in your family dealing with this? How long have you been dealing with the pain? On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is the pain? You know, they're going to ask all the questions so they can properly diagnose it. That's what we do when we speak.
I hope y'all caught that. We be listening now. Y'all talking about Dubois. Y'all talking about Booker T. Y'all talking about Garvey, keeping the money in. One of the ways I keep the money in is if I can't get the gig, I'm giving it to my people. So if I got 1,000 gigs a year and I can't do it, we going down the chain. You know, and a lot of people wouldn't necessarily get that gig. I'm not saying on their own. It may take longer for them to get those type. But if you in the crew and I say, nope, I can't speak at this football team, or I can't do that. It's like, but hey, we got other people in line that can do it. And that's something that we don't talk about often, but that's one of the things I'm proud of is just because I can't do it don't mean it can't get done. We have somebody in our circle that can make that happen, that can get that bag.
Listen, I take currently 5% of the requests that get in as far as my speaking. Now, he charging $150,000, $200,000. So I don't know what percentage he taking. But all them gigs I can't pass down, I promise you, Ebony Venice, she been my booking manager assistant for 10 years. Just like he said, all the people in our program, and if they like, okay, I can't quite afford Jeremy or Jeremy not available, I'm hitting them like, hey, I know you want me. My man nice too, and he not gonna tax you 40 grand. He'll pull up for 25, or she'll pull up for 18. And so we definitely try to keep that dollars within our community for sure.
No question.
Yep.
What's some of the biggest mistakes that people make?
It's selfish, bro. I'm gonna just say what Jay just said. Going to an event and talking about something that you want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like being like, let's just say InvestFest. Somebody go, they like geek, like, yo, I got a chance to get up here in front of 20,000 people. I got a chance to shine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a chance to be seen. I got a chance to get gigs. And it's like, bro, no disrespect, but they called you for them. Like, they built this. They called you to help them with what they built. Now, I'm not saying it's not an opportunity for you, but this ain't the time for you to come and try to showboat or try to do something outside the scope of the work that they ask you to do. And you'll see people do that. Now, I'm not saying no names like, oh, I saw this person do that. I'm just saying I've been in the game for a while, and people will get invited, you know, and now they in the back trying to talk to people. I'm like, bruh, why? Like, y'all invite me, I come, I do my thing. I'm not staying behind. Let me get this person number, this person. No, it's like, that's not what you called me for. You called me to speak, not network. And if you wanted me to network with Magic, or you wanted me to network with Tyler Perry, you would have gave me that opportunity. But and I just see people overdoing it and making it about self.
Hello.
Because if you come and you kill it, they gonna bring you back. They gonna open up other doors. If you kill it.
Now you're really preaching.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I see people missing opportunities because you like on some narcissistic stuff, as opposed to coming and serving InvestFest in the way they told you to come in and serve InvestFest.
And I think that's where people get it wrong. And if they just knew, you just show up and add as much value and get out of there. What God got for you.
Don't make it about you. Yeah.
Bruh, do y'all know? I think it was like maybe the second year I was at InvestFest. I was just doing my thing. I met one of y'all earners, Dr. Nikisha Hammond. She joined our program, and because she connected with us, I put her on stage in Miami. She did her first TED Talk with us. You know what I'm saying? Now she's doing 6 figures a year, speaking part-time. She still got her regular business. She still got her portfolio. You know what I'm saying? But she making 6 figures on the side. Like, can we talk about that? Like, I feel like there's a shift. I feel like there's a shift that's taking place. It's a whole bunch of, listen, I've been on with y'all since y'all jumped it off live. I'm sitting here taking notes. I'm sitting here listening to everything y'all saying. We know the markets go up and down. It break my heart that my man lost that 40 million, but somebody else was up 60 million. My man lost that 40 million and lost his life. Like, it breaks my heart to hear that. But what is constant, what is steady is the speaking. And we feel good. We sleep good at night, knowing we putting people in a position that can now speak, make a quick $5,000, $7,000, $8,000 from a speech. Well, because they're doing it part-time, they can now go and put that in the market. So that's a whole nother game we playing. And the world that we live in today, with us being able to make this type of revenue, speaking part-time. I gotta say that, Ian, like, everybody ain't even trying to be full-time speakers. Some folks like, I like doing this on the side. Craft my, oh, come on.
I'm just saying, I got numbers for them. I got numbers. So look, if you're only making 12.5, you're only making 12.5, bro. You do 24 gigs, you make 300,000. Now, I know in most cities in the United States of America, if you making 300,000, you're doing good for yourself. Now,
good,
like you said earlier, some of y'all don't want those $1 billion troubles. You think you do. You ain't ready to be no billionaire. Bruh, you're doing 24. Okay, so say you only making 6,500 a gig, which is like basic. That's only 48 gigs a year. You do it's 365 days in a year that you only got to work. Like, you got 320 days off. You know what I'm saying? You only got to work 40 something and making 6,000 to, like you said, I make 150. So I don't even remember when I was making 6,000. You can make 6,000 and still get to 300. Like you said, part-time. So I got the numbers. It don't take, and you could be a starting speaker. You don't even got to be deep to make $6,000. Somebody said the average speaker in 2025 make $1,500. That's 6,000 right here, 6,250. You do 48 of them jokers, you got 300,000. I don't care if that's part-time or full-time. That's some good money in America, and you can put something in the market. You can let early leisure
that actually leads to this, because I know you guys are doing a challenge next week, right?
Yeah.
To actually get people to learn how to become public speakers. So talk about that before you guys head out.
So we've cracked the code. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the fruit of ET, Inky Johnson, the fruit of ET, and we got hundreds of other people in our community that's killing it, that's rolling with us, that's at events, that's out here speaking, that's making 6, and now we got a bunch of 7-figure speakers. And so we created the framework. Y'all know E got his own church. He speaks for the biggest companies in the world. We did not just pray our way to success. We got a framework. We came together years ago, and we have a system and a framework to show individuals in year 1 how they can become 6-figure speakers. And so for us, we're trying to keep that within, our circle, within our community, and really help people go to that next level who want to be professional speakers. So next week we'll be together giving away the game, and you're going to hear from multiple people every day that's like us, that's in the program, that's saying, yep, I just got my first check for 15 grand. I just got $40,000 in a month. Like, real people with real numbers. You're going to see their Instagram handle. The biggest problem that people have is they question, is it possible for them? Going back to the other question, I'm going to let you jump in, E, because I know you want to talk about what's happening next week. But the biggest problem people have is thinking it's possible for them. Because most people look at ET and he going viral every other week, and they like, yo, I'm not ready to be like that. It's like, yo, you can still keep your job.
No, you ready.
You can still drive trucks. You can still teach in school. You can still be an engineer. And whatever you make from speaking, now you got play money to be able to diversify and do more things. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm putting kids through college in Cape Town and feeding 1,000 kids a week in South Africa. That's how he is taking kids to Dubai every year and taking kids to the Super Bowl in our inner cities and giving them experience they ain't never had before. The rules ain't the same for us. Like, that's the reality. The rules ain't the same for us. We're not living in them days we was living in back in the day. Like, we live in a different world now. And people that look like us, you got a message, you got a story. We're going to show you how to monetize it. We're going to show you how to package it. We're going to show you how to live a life of purpose and go out here and speak and go and get what you're supposed to get. Now you got additional resources, play money or invest money. And I tell folk all the time, Shotty, don't eat your seeds. Because folks start getting that quick $8,000. They like, I don't even need this.
And get the
now
bonus.
They wipe that purse. I'm like, nah, don't eat your seeds. Put it back in the market or put it back in your business, because it's compounding. And so it's levels to it. I'll let you talk about. So next week is going down.
No, I just say, man, like, I went through a lot to get to this, man. Like, for real, it took me a long time, bro, to get to this kind of money. And what I want to do with our program is just give people the blueprint. That's what y'all doing. That's it. And you see it. We found it. We put Tobe through the blueprint. We put Inky through the blueprint. We put Jeremy through the blueprint. And it's a lot of, like, I'm no disrespect, which most people would call like regular people who got with us and they making 200,000, 300,000. Like, they ain't social media, like, whatever, but they eating, they families are eating. And for me, it's just like, yo, everything God allowed me to go through, he allowed me to study and learn, like what y'all do. We not keeping secrets, bro. Like, I'm gonna show you the game. Like, I'm gonna show, and I'm not saying it's easy, but we figured it out. We cracked the code. Now you gotta work and you gotta put forth effort. But if you do what we told you to do, Tobe on his way to Milan now, my man, song, you know what I'm saying, Montclair. It's like, it's not rocket science. All you gotta do is be willing to grind and hustle and be obedient. But yeah, that's it next week. But before I get out of here, man, much respect. Like I said, a lot of people don't know how to build stuff. Y'all have built something, and to put us on y'all platform is not something that you have to do. And so shout out to y'all, man. Everything y'all doing, keep doing what y'all doing for the culture, bro. And yeah, we over here watching, and we ain't got enough of us. If 20,000 more of us blew up and helped our community, y'all know we still be behind. So we appreciate what y'all doing for the community, man. Keep doing y'all thing. And yeah, I'll see y'all I'll see y'all at in Manhattan or somewhere one day.
The
Rockefeller Center.
And I'll give you, so it's sixfigurespeakerchallenge.com, sixfigurespeakerchallenge.com. And I believe it's a 3-day challenge next week where they're going to be going over everything. And we actually have a discount code, EYL15 for 15% off. Anybody that wants to come, and myself and Troy, we're going to make guest appearance, and we're going to be talking for one of the segments that they bring people on. We're going to be talking about
that's fire,
public speaking and stuff like that. So we want to thank you guys for
likewise,
for
always answering whenever we needed you. So
and over delivering, both of y'all. Respectfully,
you could have went down a list of people that have been on EYL that have attributed their success to you. We even mentioned, shout out to our brother Alex Good Energy, shout out to Dave Shins, our brother Jamal 9 to 5 Millionaire. The alumni that come from that tree is pretty.
No, God is good, bro. God is good.
Y'all.
Yeah, likewise. Keep doing your thing.
Yeah, appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. There you have it.
150 a gig though. Need that.
Man, I feel like Jeremy wanted to give a speech right now.
For real.
He about to jump through the screen.
For real.
Our boy Jeremy Anderson, no joke, man. Shout out to him.
Shout out to them, man.
Yeah.
Good dudes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Good dudes. All right. Okay.
Shotty, when you do y'all speaking, ask me the blueprint for that 150.
We
gotta call UTA.
I talk to some people, man. Look like corporate spending still going pretty well.
Rearrange my numbers. What?
You feel me?
Anything that we did not talk about that we need to talk about?
We kind of briefly mentioned these things, but again, it's a big week for earnings. I know a lot of people have been watching that. Not that we should be investing because of earnings, but we talk about catalyst events in the market. TSM Thursday afternoon, ASML, they probably do it before opening on Wednesday. So those are big ones. And then you're going to start seeing the financial institutions over the next week or so. I know we got Ally here, M&T. So you're going to start seeing some of the financials come in, and then toward the end of the month, we'll start seeing some of the Mag 7s report, Microsoft, Meta. So it's that time. It's that time of year again. Quarter is rolling in, and we'll see. We'll see if the market will hold up the way it has performed over the past 6 months. Man, it's been an incredible run. But if not, we'll be prepared with our reserves.
October 28th and 29th is the 96th anniversary of the 1929 crash. So set your alerts for that. I think the rest of October should be smooth. I think we get another good pullback in November. But most importantly, when these pullbacks happen and it's breaking news that the market is falling apart, it is time for you to execute. And if you need my help with that, go to ianinvest.com. Please join the stock club so I can help you get into the market and be incredibly profitable. If I made you money, please put yes in chat. And also, too, when you focus on companies that are great, you don't worry about these hiccups or arrhythmia attacks in the market. So I'm proud of y'all for staying put. But don't worry about it. We'll be fine. Now is not the time to worry. 27, maybe something different.
We'll prep you. We'll prep you for it.
For sure.
Correction. I said TSM Friday afternoon. TSM will be, I said Thursday afternoon. It'll be Thursday before open tomorrow. And this will be an indication of how the day is going to go and maybe how the week is going to look. We got BlackRock before open. We got JP before, Goldman Sachs, Citi, Wells Fargo, American Express is this week as well. So some of them big financial institutions are going to be reporting. So we'll see. We'll see what spending's at. We'll see what debt is at.
Maybe that's why everyone's saying they love Bitcoin this week. All of a sudden, everyone, ETF, Bitcoin, ETF coming soon. See?
Bitcoin to 1 million.
Let's go.
How many years you think? Stay tuned for next week.
Stay tuned for next week.
Tap in.
I'll give you some insight.
Love is love, man. We appreciate y'all. Blackout on Wednesday.
Rashad, how spicy do you want to be on for Wednesday? Sure.
How spicy?
Yeah.
I mean, we gotta go for it, man. We gotta go for it.
I'm with it.
We gotta go for it.
Yeah.
Africa. Lessons from Africa.
More lessons. What's up with the Stephen A thing? Y'all been following this?
Stephen A. I love you.
Yeah, man. What's going on?
Gotta chill. You gotta chill. You gotta chill.
Shout out to Stack 5. Spoke to him today. Spoke to Stack 5
Did
today.
you?
Stack 5 he wasn't going for it.
I spoke to him.
He's not one to play with.
Was not happy.
Stephen Jackson
was not happy.
Your brother.
Yo, you see the Israelites have protested Reverend Mitchell.
Oh, they was out there?
Did they?
Congrats to him. State Farm yesterday.
Yeah.
And Overflow in Georgia World Cup. What?
Yeah.
The Overflow? Hey.
Yeah.
28-19.
Wow.
That's a fact.
Wow.
I'm not sure what the conflict was about.
Listen.
That's different. That's different. Congrats to him, man. May God continue to bless him and everybody that was there.
Philip. Shout out to Philip.
Special.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all be good, man. Y'all be good.
And then when Serena's husband went up there, he was kind of quiet.
Yeah. He wanted to smoke.
Stephen A.
Not married, right?
You gotta stop, man.
You giving marital advice?
You gotta stop, my brother.
Is that right?
Salute to Stephen A. Though, did the Invest Fast for us and Earn Your Leisure, but you're just going too far. You're going a little too far, man.
Went after Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah, that's wild.
Taking it a little too far.
Oh no.
Taking it a little too far, my brother.
Can we talk about Cuomo? Yeah, can I put that in the topic list?
Cuomo?
Yeah.
Andrew Cuomo?
Yeah. I'll send you the clip.
Oh,
I'll send you the clip.
Okay.
I'll send you the clip. Yeah. I'll send you the clip. I want to protect everybody.
This political cycle is interesting.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
What's the next play?
It's the first play. Let's play the first one.
Head out the country.
Force on the way.
Dollar has dropped 96% over the last 100 years.
Oh, yeah, it's over with.
While gold is up 6,000% in that same time frame.
Yep. Silver, not, good return.
So that's why it's like Bitcoin actually has no choice but to go up. That's why.
And go ahead.
There's no other, outside of gold, you have to have some level of hedge against the dollar.
And thank God for the tech sector, because if not, America would have been in a decade recession.
Oh, yeah. AI specifically has kept the market up for the past 2 or 3 years. Coming out of 2022, I think
you go late 2019.
Yeah, I think yesterday marked the 3-year anniversary of OpenAI. I think it was yesterday, or was it today? 3 years since OpenAI, and look at what the NASDAQ has done in the past 3 years
impact
from today's date.
And Bitcoin, which is tech as well.
Yeah,
without that tech sector.
Yeah, and we talked about this before, and I'll stop after this. But if you think about Bitcoin and you think about what's happening in AI, it really was the precursor for it in terms of
the great foundation.
When people would, in the early days, and y'all know if y'all been following Bitcoin, they were Bitcoin farms. You know what Bitcoin farms are today? They're called data centers.
For sure. Yep.
And the argument about Bitcoin was the amount of energy that it took to actually mine it. The same conversations now being had about our GPUs inside these data centers. Where were those data centers located? Where were those Bitcoin farms located? In rural areas that had a large space. A lot of those Bitcoin quote-unquote farms are now being converted to now facilitate the energy that's going to be needed for the AI revolution. And so there's that correlation between the two that is just, it's so obvious. It's pretty interesting.
And I'll say this as an investor, the alternative asset class usually ends up becoming the primary. So if you have deep belief in something, just hold steady. Let's hold steady.
Twitch CEO said that Kai Cenat and iShowSpeed are not on the Mount Rushmore of streaming.
I would not surprised.
He's a complete fool. Complete fool. Complete fool. Who else has done $1 million? Only one.
Hopefully, equity in perpetuity that is non-dilutable.
Only one.
Mm-hmm.
Only one.
Mm-hmm. But this has happened with UPN and CW. Hey, use the black talent, raise the value. After that, skedaddle.
Nice
equity and perpetuity that is not non-dilutable shares.
It's happening. You could there's that young lady I keep seeing on Instagram. How she keeps talking about how she made more money than LeBron last year. I've never seen this girl before, and now I can't stop seeing her.
Mm. She's a content creator.
Yep,
that's my new favorite word. We talk about on Wednesday. Gotcha. Outside of quantum, for everyone in chat, what is the next industry after quantum that will cause the market to go up from 2032 through 38? Homework assignment for tonight.
Please, another homework assignment. Don't be late with it.
Please.
Turn in your homework
early.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Shotty.
Hey, yo, Ian, my fault, bro. I should have. Congrats to IU, my guy. I thought about you.
Listen.
Biggest win in school history.
I was shocked. Look, I turned on Sports Center like there's no way, or ESPN. Like, what? Shout out to IU football. Proud of y'all.
Pride of IU. Shout out to y'all, man. He keep talking about the number 4 team in the country. Number 3 team in the country is IU.
Man, y'all may need to go give a boy that 30-year contract right now.
Damn.
IU football program better than the basketball program right now.
Oh, easily.
Mm-hmm.
And they legit. They for real.
Tough, yo. Tough.
Yeah.
They
don't have another ranked opponent for the rest of the year.
It should be a good time.
Could be an undefeated season. But we know how the season ended last year. We won't talk about that, but we know how it ended last year. Okay, you know where it ended.
Shout out to all my Hoosiers. Did y'all know Hoosier is a black man? We'll talk about it on Blackout.
A loser's a Hoosier. All right, y'all.
Cooking. It's been real. Y'all be good. Love.
Peace.